So I've talked about creative plans for me going to graduate school, including like pursuing a PhD in physics in Italy and maybe getting an en route master's of science in physics, and maybe a master's of science in cardiology, physiology as well. I've talked about what if I do that, and then I'm being successful in car building, so I decide with or without that PhD in physics, yes, going to I did a video specifically on the without the PhD in physics, then going for some sort of design degree, car design degree, and I was like, well, we say for the sake of this video, then with or without that PhD, let's say I do the car design thing, can I think of an alternative graduate school capstone, or who knows, maybe my life goes really, I don't know how I would do this anyway, so like maybe it's just at the end. So what is a capstone? A capstone is something that is like, and a rock's like if there's a bunch of slabs of rock or something, the capstone is the one that's at the top. So you can think of it as, it's for the sake of graduate school, for me, that would be like the top / last degree. Okay. So on an alternative graduate school capstone, PhD in zoology, Anti-Predator Adaptations. So today is Saturday, 26th July 2025, and I, Tanis Coralee of Seattle, ruminate about an alternative graduate school capstone for myself based on my life experience. A PhD in zoology with a focus on anti-predator adaptations. It's something that I actually have published interesting when I was, my last attempt at attaining a degree was unsuccessful, and when I was working as a professional development liaison, I published an article, single author, in a cover talking about copyright laws, and I actually did my own artwork of a meerkat that I incorporated for its anti-predator adaptations. So I did a visual, or I chose a meerkat, and I made this visual with the meerkat that I hand drew and then digitized. I did it because of they have very good vigilance, and which is an anti-predator adaptation. Okay, and so I was thinking, I was like, it's not random. I actually have a publication. I was local news level, but so in that sense, in a graduate sense, it's not actually out of the blue, even though I was at that point in time that it was pursuing a PhD in mineral physics, or approximately that point in time. I was in graduate school for mineral physics and geophysics. So there, in that sense, I can point at the visual I made and be like, well, technically I published this back in 2019, you know. Well, I didn't publish it, right? That was not the publishing entity. But point being, I've always loved animal. I've had pet rodents. I had them growing up. I look after critters of the backyard and observe both in the backyard and outside the household premises the critters. The squirrels and long-tailed weasel, Mustela frenata, and rare otters want to go to the movies at a local cinnabar. And like, does my research on anti-predator adaptations actually result in somehow we can get them into the cinnabar to go to the movies? You know, so there's this one, anti-predator adaptations, because it's something copyright laws and not copycatting and preventing stealing and that kind of stuff is an anti-predator adaptation, where, you know, we can think of copycatting as a predatory human behavior, right? So there's some of the stuff that is exists in the animal kingdom can exist, like outside of humans, can exist for humans as well. And then as for where this might happen, actually, so I really loved animals growing up, and the University of Hawaii at Manoa in Honolulu, Hawaii, entered my life in 2004 in my life story through a sweatshirt one of my friends wore, and he knew somebody in zoology at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. I was like, it'd be, so that's my Bachelor of Science in Geology and Geophysics with a minor in Mathematics. That's my alma mater, University of Hawaii at Manoa. So it's like, if I wanted to go full circle, I go back to my alma mater and get that zoology degree, because that's what kind of piqued my interest. And they really had a spectacular, I to date have not seen or encountered a university with kind of the zoology setup that they did, including like marine biology and like marine zoology. It was truly spectacular. So in that sense, that'd be cool. I'm considering this a tangents video, because I have no idea how that would happen or if that would happen, but I was like, can I come up with, can I continue the creativity and come up with like a capstone idea? I mean, maybe the capstone is a car design thing. Maybe it's the 2 masters of science degrees. Maybe it's the car design thing. Maybe it's PhD in physics. Maybe it's PhD in zoology. It's like, I don't have an infinitely long list. So maybe I should, is there any last calls? Yeah. Just like, how about this one? So there we go. Thank you for joining.